I never heard about abortion one time until I was 22. I don't recall ever learning about the development of the child in the womb, the human being in the womb. So if they won't do it, someone's got to. Christians have to, right?
Right.
You won't see these images on the media tonight, on the news tonight. So we have to this is our way of bypassing the media blackout. You're not going to if you turn on the news tonight or any night, you're not going to see an image of a murdered baby, because the news, they're full of pro-aborts, those who support murdering babies.
Okay.
And that's one reason why we have to do this, is because the media won't show. If the media did this, if the media did for you what we're doing, showed you the murdered preborn, this is over. Abortion's over. Because the media has such a hold on this country. People listen to Fox News or CNN or MSNBC. They take seriously what they hear. But they're not going to hear it. Fox News isn't going to show you a murdered baby.
Right.
So we have to, as Christians, if we care about our neighbors.
Let me ask you this. So what's the earliest that abortion takes place?
You mean like through birth control or surgical or?
Just, I'm a little inexperienced with it.
Well, I know that that with the because birth control can result in abortions. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
Well, to explain that, after fertilization has taken place, birth control can make the lining of the uterine wall hostile to the child, so the child cannot implant, and the child starves to death or is deprived of nutrients of what the child needs to survive. And so, birth control can do that, and basically, birth control makes the mother's body hostile to the child's survival. Is ultimately what it does in a nutshell. But yes, birth control also prevents fertilization from taking place as well, but it does cause abortions. But like as early as I'm not sure if I can give you like a number on how early they take place. I've read about it, but it's hard to keep all the facts in your mind, especially in my mind. But I know that well, that wouldn't be really relevant right now. Like I know like the different trimesters, but that's not really answering your question. But either way, the murder of a baby from the moment of fertilization until natural death is a violation of God's law. Is a violation of God's law.
So from
fertilization until natural death.
Can I ask you this? It's not a mean question. It's just like.
Go ahead, ask.
Well, like, why are you doing this? Like, it's weird.
Oh, I just answered the question.
Yeah, right. Like, it's just weird about it. I don't care about like what you do and what you talk about. It's just like wow. So like we like standing there, like wow, there's like a lot of people here these days.
You guys have definitely drawn attention.
Yeah.
Which is exactly.
It's only because they're talking. It's only because they're talking about something.
We want to educate people about how to go to heaven, how to be reconciled to God. Are you going to read it or tear it up?
Yeah, I'll read it.
Okay.
I'm not going to tear it.
So you're open-minded. You're able to think for yourself. Good for you.
I just don't really care.
Well, you care enough to ask for one.
It's just. Yeah,
so you do care at least.
I just want to look at it. I'm not gonna rip it I'm not gonna be like a douchebag and fucking rip it like in front of everybody.
Yeah, see
those are like these people. They're morons. Like that's like 1,000%. They're morons, man. Like in the world population, they're morons. I don't care. You talk about it. It's just like who cares?
Well,
it's your thing.
Well, we'll do this. Read through that.
Read it.
And just consider what it says.
Yeah, I read some.
And just think about what you're reading.
Yeah.
And just think, is this right or wrong? And how do I know?
See.
Okay,
They don't think about it first. They like.
Oh, I know.
They fucking chat like that, like a bunch of fucking bitches, like to me. Cause they don't like. I started reading this part right here, like page 16.
Okay.
And like I started reading a little bit. I'm like, it's like. It's their decision, like I don't care. It's their decision. Like some people want an abortion. I'm not being mean. Some people want to adopt a nation, or people just want to take care of it. It's just their thing.
You know, he actually, where is he? Their son. I don't see him right now.
Where is he? Who's hanging out, handing out these?
Where is he? Oh yeah, he over there. His son, they adopted him from Ukraine, and here's a background on him. He spent the first 18 years of his life in a foster home being terribly neglected and abused. He still has scars, even on his forehead, from all the abuse and neglect. I think one of those is from a cigarette butt. And that, I mean, and his parents rescued him from that orphanage last year. And people want to say that this culture, because he has Down syndrome. People in this. Well, think about this. Oh, thank you for that. Think about this. This culture says that this culture murders, from my understanding, from my research, and look this up. You can look it up yourself. This culture murders over 90% of children diagnosed with Down syndrome in the womb. Think about that. Yeah. I mean, you can look it up yourself.
They want to take care of the
kids. Children just like him. This culture murders just because they have Down syndrome.
All right.
Think about that.
All right. I just want to say one thing. All right. Before I go, all I got to say is you're pro-life, right?
I'm an abolitionist. We're abolitionists.
So I just got to say, you're thinking about the baby should be born. What happens after the baby's born? Because sometimes people don't want to have their kids, and sometimes people can't afford to raise their kids, and sometimes people do abuse their kids. So, and then there's like the foster care system, but it's not a good system to go into. And
we were just talking about that too.
Yeah, and so.
Do you know his story over there?
Huh?
Do you know his story?
No.
Well, go ahead. I'm just trying to relate that with what you're saying.
All I gotta say is that your what's it called? Your side of the argument is a lot bigger than just the babies themselves. It's what about the babies right now that were chosen to live but aren't raised by their biological parents, and so that's what I'm just thinking about.
The children that are in the foster care or in the orphanages, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Well,
not just them. I'm just pretty much.
Well, I'll explain this to you. We were just talking about this because I'll make this personal now. The one who picked up your pamphlets, his name is Vanya. He's I believe he's 19 now. He was conceived and born in the Ukraine. He spent the first 18 years of his life, 18 years, in the foster care system, being horribly neglected and abused. And we're talking about this. You can still see the scars on his body, on his forehead. He still has scars. You can see from the abuse and neglect. He had two. His parents were telling me he had when they found him, he had two black teeth that were so bad, and not to gross you out, but when they looked inside and were taking the teeth out, pus was coming out. He was so bad off, and he's been through at least 2 surgeries, and just horribly neglected. I mean, it was basically a prison. And last year his parents rescued him out of that horrible situation. But see, but yes, the bad thing is his parents were telling me, because they've and trying to and adopting him, they learned some of the stuff. There are children. There are children in the foster care system, not only in the Ukraine, but I'm sure all over the world, that don't make it. That no one adopts them, and so. From my understanding, they go in, if they're not adopted, they go into an institution and are forgotten about. And we need to care for them. They adopted Vanya, and I think they're open to adopting more children, probably from the Ukraine, same foster care system. And I'm looking to adopt myself if the Lord blesses me with a wife. Right now I'm trying to help with adoption. I don't feel at this time that I should adopt as a single man, but I do want to adopt children if the Lord blesses me with a spouse, and because honestly, Christians have dropped the ball on the murder of the preborn and helping them, but Christians have also dropped the ball on rescuing orphans out of the foster care system, out of these orphanages. We've dropped the ball terribly, and that burdens me. It's like we need to do a lot more for that, and we're not living consistently. And So I mean, I hope that answers your question. I've been pondering what more I could do for.
As long as
while
you're
now.
helping make the foster care system better, which would be your solution to the whole pro-life, pro-choice argument, then
A solution at least. Not the whole solution, but
well, not the whole solution, but it's a start. It's a start.
well, the main solution is through Jesus Christ. Because I know you may not like this answer, but I'm just being honest and straight with you, straightforward. When a person gets saved, that changes everything. They're not going to want to neglect or abuse their child. They're not going to want to murder their baby. They're not going to want to shoot people or go on rampages. They're not going to want to do anything that's wicked. They're not going to be a drug dealer or be a prostitute or even want to hurt people. They're going to want to help people. What's that?
Well, I feel like if like you don't have no money, you're like poor as hell, you can't get a job.
Thank you for the honest question.
It's like you get it, like no, it's like watching your back. It's like no, it's like I don't care about like.
I have a bit of a cold, so
I just want to tell you guys that I respect your cause and keep going for what you believe.
Well, the Lord pushes me to do it. Thank you for the reasonable dialogue. Thank you all for the healthy dialogue. I appreciate it. It's nice when people don't scream in your face. They're actually open to talking and listening.
No, because like these kids, man, they're so nice, man. They're like, if like,
and you gotta put up with them for 7-8 hours a day.
You gotta realize this is central.
Yeah, this is the ghetto.
I've been to ghetto schools before.
Dude, I live in the east side, and dude, this shit is like bad in the east side, man. You fucking see drug dealers, hookers, and like fucking dead people every day. It's like survival. It's like if you're gonna be killed, you're gonna be killed. You gotta kill someone, you gotta survive. Some people change their minds, some people don't. Some people are like different gangs, not gang related, just doing business.
That's why you live around.
Yeah, it's not bad. You just gotta get used to it. Yeah, I used to grow up bad neighborhoods in Texas, bro. I'm talking about helicopters up the sky, looking for murder.
Panya, see the scars on his forehead? Panya, here, take the sign down. Let them see. Yeah, look what happened to him. I mean, and that's just some. I think there are other scars on his body.
I don't like